You know, I had a question. You seem to have moved quite a bit.
Yeah.
And so you don't mind, you're not adverse to that. And that probably has a lot to do
Actually, I was in Buffalo for a good part of it. It was in Ann Arbor for 2 years of it.
And now you're...
And the rest of, yeah, I've been in D.C. for 6 years.
And where'd you go to school?
University of Buffalo.
And where are you from?
Buffalo.
Originally from
Yeah.
So that wasn't a stretch.
No, so it
For
hasn't
me,
been...
Buffalo might be a stretch.
For me, Buffalo's a stretch, believe me.
I didn't get what Innovative does.
Oh, they're an ILS vendor?
Catalog.
Yeah, the library automation system.
Okay.
So it's, guess our competitors would be like Cersei Dynex. Or,
I have a hard time imagining leaving a science library. A science museum, rather.
Right.
That sounds like the most intriguing place to be.
It was.
But you were providing reference answers to what? The public, and so the questions were repetitive and boring? Or what was there about the job?
As a director, I wasn't doing a lot of reference.
Okay.
I had a staff that was doing a lot of the reference, and the ILL and the cataloging, and just like any library,
Were you a cost center for the museum?
I actually turned this into a profit center.
Yeah.
Which nowadays you just
So you were director for the whole
really have to do
museum,
it.
which had a library.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
For
Yeah.
the whole museum.
What?
You were director of the museum.
No. I was director of the library within the museum.
Within the museum.
Right. So I would say that, like a lot of people do, you have to show that ROI.
Right.
So, if you're going to be a cost center, you probably won't last very long nowadays.
So what did you do because that was a non-profit organization?
Right.
What did you do to make it a cost center?
What we did was we rented out the library to offset the cost.
It wasn't the ILL? It wasn't your collection that was the asset?
There was,
your space,
there was a lot of ILL going on, but it hit a point where we were having trouble with the shipping and everything, so we weren't able to really rely on that per se.
So you charged for ILL?
So you're doing this
No.
before the age of PDF?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, see that makes a big difference, yeah.
Exactly. But we were starting to rent the space, and when I was brought on, the idea was, when I started at the Museum of Science, it was a reading room. You had to be buzzed in, you had to have an appointment, you had to, it was sort of archaic. And it's funny now because I go and I visit customers who will remain nameless, but I walk in and it's eerie because I'm ringing the doorbell and they're letting me in. They don't have circulating books. They don't, you know what I mean? And we always get a huge chuckle out of it. And actually, I was offered a position as a director of that library after our meeting. They emailed me while I was driving back to my hotel and said, "We all want you as our director."
But you didn't go in there asking, knowing,
no,
or anything?
they're just a customer of mine. Yeah. No, I just...
Okay, how does that happen?
Yeah, I know.
How does that kind of luck
Doesn't happen
come
to
to
everyone.
you?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. It's just always been the way it was. And
It also
so,
sounds like you're willing to try a lot of new things, and you're not in one niche.
No.
Now, at what point did you pick up a spouse?
Yes, that's a good
Checked her out of the
question.
library, never
Yeah.
took her back.
Exactly. I checked them out of the library.
She's overdue.
Right. Very overdue. It's been... I don't know why I'm looking at Chris. It's been 5 years.
Okay, so you'd already made the move to DC, so you were a bachelor when you were doing at least two of your moves.
Right.
Do you think in a career path at this time, having a variety of background experiences and moving every 3, 4, 5 years is that's the advice I give my students.
Yeah.
I
Really?
think that
To
is
move?
yes, because it's suspect if you stay someplace alone.
Yeah.
Do you mean move cities or change jobs?
I mean change jobs, and it might mean moving cities or it might not, but changing jobs.
I feel so old.
I've had
I used to change jobs a lot, but you always tried to kind of hide it.
Not anymore.
I've
I
had
think
7
it's an
jobs
asset.
in the last 12 years.
And I think that's one reason reason why people find you
7.
attractive is because you're a risk taker. You have a lot
Yeah.
of different experiences. You're
In the
willing
library
to
field,
take change.
The
and
background, my
lead.
background's really varied, you know, and not like a striped past or anything like that. But I mean, you know, we're keeping it professional here. But yeah, I think, you know, I was at the bank for 6 years,
It's a long time.
and for nowadays, that is a long time.
It's a long time.
And it,
Yeah.
you know, if it weren't for the fact, I just had to do some soul searching, and I had to say, are you a librarian? Are you a banker? What are you this week? And, you know, the one thing that's been constant over the past 15 years is I'm a librarian. You know, that's just how it is. I do my job in a different way than most librarians do, but I'm providing a service just like you all are. And, you know, I'm still, now it's kind of neat because instead of, you know, over 15 years working in 5 different settings, I can be in 5 different settings every day.
And how do you
So-
think your graduate work in library training helped you? Or
Well,
did it help you?
the biggest piece, because Karen was also actually one of my professors at UB, the marketing piece and sales. And the one thing I'll say is that it doesn't matter what position any of us are in, because we're, you know, directors and we're consultants and we're librarians or catalogers or whatever. There's no such thing as the back room anymore. There really isn't. Doesn't exist. And so if you're not out there selling and marketing the library, it doesn't matter what organization you're in, it's kind of a done deal. You have to be constantly selling your services. So it doesn't matter whether it's a nonprofit.
Now, is it selling your services or selling the services of the library?
The library. The
Library has to be
library.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have to wrap it up.
Okay.
Okay. Are you the group leader?
I am the team leader.
Oh, okay.